Okay, so final keynote, and then you guys can all disappear off. Babek from OneDome is coming up. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, guys. So Duncan, very good presentation. Well done. I've only heard about the fact that I'm presenting yesterday afternoon, so apologies. I'm not really ready, so I will try to improvise. Can I see the screen, or it's not possible? Oh, it's there. Perfect. Thank you. So the topic I will discuss today is how technology can improve the home buying process for everyone. Quickly about myself. My name is Babek Ismayil. I'm founder and CEO of OneDome. Previously, in my previous role, I was a distressed debt trader working for JP Morgan for over 10 years, focusing on real estate and consumer retail companies. So some sort of relevance to what we're doing now. And we started working in OneDome in 2015. Just two of us with my co-founder, who is a software engineer, and slowly grew the team. And now we have a number of things to discuss. But today is not about OneDome. It's in general how technology can improve home buying process for everyone. So one thing to talk about is technology has dramatically transformed advertising, financial industry, and retail industry. And obviously, there are strong examples of that. I don't know if it's visible, all the circles. And in financial industry, actually, as a person who dealt and used that technology day to day, technology streamlined transactions, financial transactions. So whereas buying and selling bonds used to be quite a complex thing to do in the past, with the emergence of Euroclear or Clearstream, it became a very simple and straightforward process. Well, look at the size of the market. I mean, property market is obviously one of the largest industries in the world. Maybe second after financial services, and probably the most relevant to consumer, because if we look at any area where we spend most of our money, for any consumer, property will be always at the top. But it's still yet to go through a so-called digital transformation, and what that means we will discuss in a second. Let's start with the problem. This is currently how the process looks like in the UK. So a buyer and a seller, they have to make a number of phone calls, exchange of emails, chasing different people in the process. Similar thing can also apply to different professionals, all chasing others, trying to get the transaction to a point where it's actually successful. And if we talk about the problems that buyers, vendors, and landlords and tenants have in this process, or basically our consumers or home buyers, the first problem is disjointed customer journey. There are too many moving parts. And bear in mind, people don't buy and sell properties every day, so they do not exactly remember how they've done it last time. Second problem is it's a lengthy, non-transparent, and inefficient process. There are loads of manual steps. Everybody probably went through printing, signing, scanning, sending back stuff to your conveyancer, calling them and chasing for some sort of feedback. And an important point also is there's no interconnectivity or flow of data between these different professionals. As a consumer, if I'm dealing with 4 or 5 different agents, I have to repeat them exactly the same information so they can qualify me. And once I found the property I like, then I have to repeat exactly the same information again to a conveyancer and also a mortgage broker. So customer constantly enters repetitively the same data or repeats the same data to a different property professional in the process. And a more kind of a bigger problem is risk of fraud. Because all of this communication we have here, they're done in a very unsecure manner. So done through insecure email exchanges or phone calls. And when the money is transferred between a buyer and a conveyancer, in general, it's done through unsecured emails. And you've probably heard about things called Friday afternoon fraud. That's not only a problem for home buyers. There's also a problem for property professionals. And the first problem is all these businesses are heavily interdependent. Estate agency wouldn't be successful if conveyancer doesn't do their job. And they wouldn't be successful if mortgage broker doesn't do their job. And the same can be applied to a conveyancer and a mortgage broker. Currently, interconnectivity between those businesses is minimal. And if you speak to an estate agent, they will always blame conveyancer for all the problems they have in their business. And if you speak to conveyancer, it will be exactly the same. Limited control and visibility of own cash flow. So this is one of the things, as a distressed guy, our goal was always to focus on cash flows. So how do we make sure that these businesses generate cash flow and also have a control over it? So as an estate agent, you have a very limited control over your cash flow. You're very much in the hands of conveyancer doing their part of the job. And the last bit is high cost of acquisition and limited monetization of the customer data. So high cost of acquisition, I guess, is a similar problem for incumbent businesses, as well as a similar problem also to all the current digital disruptors in the space. And All of that obviously yields in property transaction being one of the most stressful experiences in the consumer life, and fraud and negligence in the property transaction space costing UK economy hundreds of millions of pounds. The solution, let's go them step by step. So the first solution is to create the digital tools for estate agents and assist them in digital transformation of their business. And that means improving the interaction between buyer, seller, and the agent through a number of different digital tools that sits on the agent website. The second part of the product is digital conveyancing. So building an automated conveyancing that will digitize the whole transaction, automate as much as current legislation is allowed to automate, with the hopes that as we progress and as PropTech becomes a bigger thing and legal tech together, we will be able to automate more and more. And the third step is basically building technology tools for mortgage brokers and then connecting all of these things together in a secure transactional platform. So one platform that connects all the dots, allows consumers to communicate in a secure manner and go through the whole transaction with one single interface. What it means? First of all, it means digitally connected businesses. So we can give full transparency to estate agents, conveyancers, and mortgage brokers in how the transaction is and what's the likelihood of them getting their cash flow. That is the second element. So business tools enabling digital transformation overall, not of just estate agents or mortgage brokers, but actually of all three different type of professionals involved in the transaction. Remove the duplication of data from a customer point of view. So rather than a customer constantly repeating same thing over and over and over again to people, if there is one single platform that can allow to connect all of it, then that simplifies the process. And also give full visibility to all key stakeholders involved, not only buyer and vendor, but also agent, conveyancer, and mortgage broker. What that means building a secure transactional platform, or so-called deal room. What will be the benefits of building a platform like that? From a consumer perspective, first of all, it's an end-to-end transactional platform. So it's really simple. I don't need to think about it. It will allow me to go from A to Z and achieve what I need to achieve. Second, it's a secure and streamlined process. It's a secure for home buyer. The frauds are limited to a bare minimum. Obviously, any technology can always be attacked, and there was always a scope for a cyber attack. But it's minimized, and the best practice in the cybersecurity used. It's a transparent pricing, something that is obviously missing from the process. And from a business's perspective, first of all, it's revenue growth from auxiliary services. As you know, the industry is under serious financial threat. The margins are squeezed, so as a businesses, they need to figure out the new ways to make or generate revenue. So kind of monetizing your data is one important element of an end-to-end journey. Second thing is probably even more important than the first point is control and visibility of the transaction, i.e. your cash flows. How confident that agent that then I will actually end up receiving the cash that they worked for. And the last bit that any technology company should always do is significant reduction of operational costs. And what that means is that results in faster and more assured transactions. And if you really want to think about it, you have to just look at the financial industry that's been there and happened, and it works, and it simplified banks' life significantly. So obviously, big project, a lot of undertaking, a lot of tech that needs to be built. Today, we're not talking about OneDome. I just want to talk to you about what needs to be done in the industry, and whomever does it, and I think it will be done probably as a result of a collaboration of a number of different companies together. But who is OneDome? So we are a company that's been built in 2016. We have a strong team of 50 people from various large blue chip companies, 35 people specifically working on R&D, making us one of the serious players in the PropTech space from an R&D perspective. And all of our former employees used to be employed by some of the largest companies in the world, including DLA, Piper, Microsoft, and a number of other companies. And that's it.